right, so if you guys don't know who Outlaw is, he is a cosplay pro. The man knows how to do his cosplay. Voltron, Transformers. I think you do Gundam too, right?
Mostly for the Transformers and the Gundam were for my son.
Awesome. All right, so if you guys are tuning in now, Outlaw has been caught by the COVID, correct?
Correct. That is.
How have you been, man?
I've been good. It's just I'm now about 5-6 days, going on 6 days fever free.
6 days fever free.
Fever free. Yeah. So, which also means that I've got another 6 or 7 days to go to consider myself completely out in the clear.
Well, you sound pretty good. You don't sound like as groggy. I thought you were gonna be like the DMX voice.
Or like a really bad Batman voice.
Yes.
I've got the COVID.
Where is he? Where is Corona?
Fabian's on here. He can attest to how I sounded. He's heard me before. I tried to get out of bed and play a little Xbox and get on there, but I just couldn't last. At least they just got to hear my voice, if anything, to know that I'm alive.
Jeez. When did you start experiencing the symptoms, though? Like, because I saw you not too long ago for the Long Island shoot, and you were completely like bouncing back and forth all over the place.
The Lightbenders event really, was a little bit of a worry for me. But granted, the amount of space we had, around the whole building, and the space we had between each of us, I didn't, my fears weren't as high as they were going into it. A lot of us did stay far enough apart, and at least at that time, we didn't have any reports yet, at least in New York, to really worry about at the time. Now, whether or not the incubation period or whether or not there was a carrier amongst us, I think that was too long of a period. I think somebody would have developed something within 2 weeks, after the Lightbenders event.
That's completely true. I mean, I hung out with you for a couple minutes here and there, and it didn't pass on. So I don't think you contracted it from that event. It probably was a little bit after that, I'm assuming. Just time span wise.
Recording where I was after that event, there was, let's see, I had actually already been on lockdown technically. I work from home 100%. So, and the only time I need to leave the house is when I pick up my kids from school or grocery shopping. And the only time I did leave when lockdown started becoming a reality for everyone was to go to ShopRite to try to, gather some provisions. And when I look at it, that was back on the 15th of March. And then I went out again. I volunteered to get jugs of water for my mother-in-law on Tuesday, the 17th. Soon after that, on the 18th, on Wednesday, I lost my sense of taste and smell. Everybody, my family has a long history of allergies. I'm the only one without allergies, believe it or not. And I've never experienced that before. So they were telling me, oh yeah, that's normal. It's around this time of season. It happens. You're going to lose your sense of taste and smell. You can have sniffles and whatever. I didn't think anything of it. And the next day, Thursday, I shot up to 101 fever, and I didn't know what hit me.
Wow. So no symptoms from one day to the next. It was just like, boom, a freight train.
Yeah. It just took me out. It felt like somebody kicked my legs from underneath me.
Damn. Now, I mean, you're home most of the time, majority of the time, like you said, besides picking up your kids or whatnot. When did you get it confirmed? Like, this is the thing that hit me, and what am I going to do around my family? Like, are you in a box in your house?
Well, as it goes, the interaction with the kids and the family is, I'm usually the main cook in the house. So that did worry me, like that heavily weighed on me when I found out. Like I just started to get sick, and I said, you know what? I was preparing food, I was doing all this and that. The good news is that I could pass with a grade A from the health inspection for sure, because I didn't pass anything to anyone. I'm constantly washing my hands, especially when I'm cooking, and just I am surprised I didn't give it to my family, because it is, we don't live in a big house, but the way two boys can run around and jump on you whenever they feel, it's like things can happen and you could sneeze on or cough on them, but I was lucky not to do that.
Jeez. I mean, are they still hanging around you though? Like recently?
Now, yeah, a little bit more so. I'm back to helping my son with schoolwork. If I am around them, I'll put a mask on, or if I have to cough, I'll leave the room completely. And I'm allowed in like two areas in the house: my bedroom, and my home office, pretty much. I stayed away from my workshop. I didn't want to contaminate any of my projects, and I haven't been there for almost 3 weeks now.
Yeesh, how does that feel? Do you have like an itch, like, oh my God, I haven't been doing what I love to do?
I've instead, I've been converting T-shirts that my wife has into like workout shirts. I've been like, I'll post a couple of those. So I'm still crafting in a way.
Okay, so you're still crafting in a safe, secluded way.
Yeah.
Man, but now what did you feel? Like, what type of symptoms did you feel like when this was like from a 1 to a 10, and it was a 10? What did it feel like, like symptoms wise?
Well, so starting off on that Thursday when the fever hit, it just felt like any other fever. I'm like, it's really hot. I'm sweating and I'm waking up in a pool of sweat. There was no pain associated yet. So I just felt like I could do things still. I tried to get up and move around the house. But when the fever stayed Friday and then it stayed on Saturday, I was like, okay, well, I need to go get tested because this is not normal. Tylenol was not doing a single thing.
Really?
Body aches started happening on Saturday, and on Sunday, I just didn't want to get out of bed anymore. It's that then by that point, the body aches got to I don't know if any of you have had the flu. It's very similar. It's very similar in the feel of the fever and the aches. It wasn't so bad yet. I found a place that would go and test me for flu, but when I tried to convince them to give me the COVID test, they said no. And I found out. Yeah, so that was on a Sunday, and they said I didn't fall within the category. CDC has strict guidelines with the limited amount of tests that they had. They have it, but they're not going to give it to me because I did not fall within the category.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was pretty crazy. So my wife and I just got on the phone on Monday, and we called around. I called like 5 or 8 places, hospitals and ERs all throughout the, northern New Jersey area, and all of them said no. I did not fit the bill. So the one with
the sneezing, the coughing, the headaches, body aches.
At this point, on Tuesday is when everything really went downhill. The body aches became more extreme. The best way I could describe it is that you've seen Predator, or anybody else seen Predator when he rips out the spine from from his victim and the skull attached with it.
Yep.
So it felt like Predator was behind me with his hands in my spine and having a hard time pulling it out. So you can imagine it's tug of war with that and my nerve endings throughout my entire body being on fire. My hair even hurt. On top of it, the fever's like really raging, and my chest started to feel heavy, like as if I had like a 400-pound man sitting on my chest. I've described it a different way to other people, but I'm not going to do that here.
Keep it PG. Keep it PG.
It really felt like somebody was sitting on my chest, and at the same time, the fluid in my lungs was building up. So not only was I not able to breathe, but whenever I tried to and coughed, it felt like I was drowning. So that Tuesday, I finally found one really helpful soul, and I had to lie to them. I had to. I feel bad for saying this on here, but the only way to get through the CDC criteria is to lie, and I had to do that. And I was able to get to a location. It was very clandestine. They were telling me to wait in the parking lot. They called me, gathered my information. And an hour later, they called me back, make a left, make a right, make another left, and line up on the curb, and somebody will come out to get you.
Wow.
So
social distancing times 10.
Yeah. And by the time that happened, the doctor that came out, she looked frazzled. I mean, she's been through a lot, and a lot of these healthcare workers go through this every day, and they see a lot of shit. Pardon my French. And you could see it in her eyes. She wanted to help, but she also was afraid for herself. And I put on my mask. She escorted me in the building, and she did everything first besides COVID. She's like, you know what? Let's examine you as if this was a real examination, not just for one thing. She didn't put her blinders on. And she may have saved my life by doing that, because she's like, well, you have pneumonia in both your lungs, and I'm going to give you a Z-Pack and an inhaler, and now we're going to test you for the COVID. So I already told her that I had the flu test, and it came back negative. And the swab that goes into your nose is like that long. It goes in, it goes down, and you can feel it tickling the back of your sinus. I had a bloody nose, I'd say, for about 2 weeks after that.
Seriously?
I mean, it just
I
I wasn't dripping out, but every time I blew my nose, like blood was coming out. So I'm like, wow, that really went deep. So if just to get that test, I don't suggest it to anyone, but if it is necessary, get it, because it'll save your life.
Jeez.
Now, so because of all of that, she gave me some advice, and then I went back home. I got my prescription filled, the Z-Pack. Nothing was helping. This was on Tuesday night, and by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, no change. It just felt like the same thing, drowning in my own lungs, and the predator behind me pulling my back out. So,
I mean, were you able to sleep at all?
I'd say I lost between Thursday and Friday. I did lose track of time. I passed out because of the pain, and the short breaths. Not having that, normal oxygen in your brain, you're just gonna pass out regardless. It's like somebody putting you in a sleeper hold. So, we were able to obtain an oximeter and monitor my oxygen levels, and I stayed between 90 and 95. As long as I stayed there, I was good. We didn't have to worry, because going into a hospital at this stage, I'm just going to lose touch with my family. I'm not going to be able to call them because, you're just in quarantine. They're not going to be able to see you. As much as that is safe for them, my kids stayed away from me the entire time. My wife would come in every hour to check on my vitals, and that was that for that whole week of just no change. So that's from Thursday to the next Friday. So far, no change.
Wow. So, I mean, now you're actually starting to feel okay.
Yeah. So by the Saturday, the Saturday after, I did turn a corner. I started feeling like my fever was starting to go down, and at this point, I was still popping Tylenol like candy. And my liver must hate me by now, but by that Saturday, I turned a little bit of a corner. Fever went down to 100, and then shot back up in the evening on Sunday. The pain in my body started to subside a little bit. Trying to take a shower during this whole time. As much as they say, there was a respiratory therapist that I spoke to, and she's like, take hot showers, breathe in the hot air. I'm like, you know what? I tried that, and my blood oxygen level dropped down to 84, so I'm not going to do that again.
What?
Yeah, as soon as I got out of the shower, I checked my vitals, and I'm like, it's 84%. I'm going to have to go to the hospital. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know if she knew that I had pneumonia, and the steam would react really weird with the fluid in my lungs. I don't know, but yeah, no, I don't suggest that. If you're gonna shower, do it quick, get in and get out. I tried not. What's up?
Don't go hot water, just like lukewarm, if that,
Lukewarm,
or just go
try
cold.
not to breathe in as much steam as possible. I tried, I stayed away from any hot liquids because it would just spike the fever back up. But also at the same time, you don't want to take cold liquid because then it helps the virus stay alive.
Right.
Room temperature for the most part, just water and Gatorade. And I had an ice pack that I melted within minutes every time I used it, and that's pretty much my life for the last 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's been a long 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's been I mean, have you been following the drinking teas all the time or soups? Because they keep on recommending drink warm liquids because it clears up the throat just in case the virus is still stuck there, or you're feeling symptoms, it'll wash it down or kill the virus overall.
So once you've gotten past the fever stage, that by all means is a very good comforting feeling. As I said, once I turned the corner around I'd say on the 29th, on a Sunday, things started to feel better, and I was able to take like a hot tea. It did feel good in the throat, but it didn't really help in terms of keeping my body temperature regulated. So at that point, I just stuck to lukewarm water or room temperature water.
That's how much you were able to tolerate at the time.
Yeah. I mean, any rise in internal temperature, I could feel it. I'd start sweating while just sitting here.
Jeez. I mean, and the thing is that a lot of people, I've been indirectly affected by it, I'd like to say, because I have friends that are getting it. I have friends that have lost their parents. Both parents. I have a good friend of mine from many years ago. Both parents lost to this. I've had another friend where their grandfather has passed away, another friend that their uncle has passed away from this. I mean, this thing is really hitting hard. Like, people that are indirectly getting affected by it don't really get it. That just stay home. Just stay home and don't be a statistic.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I've been able to go out around the neighborhood now and walk around. And I still hear people in their driveways talking as if it's a hoax. It's not real. The government's trying to do something. It's a conspiracy. And I'm like, wow, it's still at that point, believe it or not. And this is people in my neighborhood, several blocks from it. It's crazy to know that they live here and they're that, adamant about the government being against the people or something. That's on a different level on its own anyway, but not COVID, because this is serious.
It's not picking and choosing. It's literally just a virus that can kill people. It has, people need to just really realize this is hitting home. I mean, New York is in a really bad spot. I just saw earlier on Facebook, there was a picture of the subway, or I think it was a bus, and the entire bus was packed, shoulder to shoulder with people.
I saw that too. Yeah.
I'm like, this is why New York and New Jersey, and the other time where the hospital, the naval ship, that's a hospital, and crowds were going to go see the ship.
Yep. And it's I don't know. It's sometimes when you see things like that, you lose hope and faith in humanity. It's crazy. But then again, then you're also reminded that there's the other half that gives you hope. But it's really hard when you see all of this in the media and socials. I mean,
it's a rough time.
Yeah.
It's a rough time. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't working, and believe it. I mean, I get it. My profession is being a coach. I'm a professional coach. That is my life job. Right now, I have zero ability to do that right now.
Yeah.
All the gyms are shut down. I can't go to people's houses. And I'm here. I'm not going to go out and put people at risk. I know, given, all right, fine, I'm healthy. If I get it, I'll fight through it. You fought through this. But the thing is that the people that get it and are healthy and can fight through it can pass it on to someone that can't.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. And I'm glad you said that. Actually, I personally know someone who went to spring break in Miami.
Wow.
And came back with positive COVID. So, and that person gave it to their parent, and now they both have it. But there's two ends. There's a spectrum. You've got your mild case where you're healthy, you're young, or sometimes even some old or frail can just get a mild case where it's a low-grade fever, a little bit of coughing, a little bit of breathing issue, but it's nothing too crazy, and they're able to get over it within the week. And then there's the other end where people are dying. I almost reached that stage, thankfully not dying part, but I had one foot ready to go into the hospital. And it's the people on that person that I know on the lower end sitting there taking selfies like, oh, feel bad for me, I've got COVID. I'm like, trivializing the entire process, the entire feeling, the entire virus itself. And it was annoying to see, but I mean, it's out there, It's like, oh, this is nothing, I got over it. But not everybody will react to it the same. You can be healthy and fit as much as as much as you want. Your age doesn't matter, and it's going to hit you differently. It might be blood type. Nobody knows. But I mean,
there's no research or anything of this. Like it's a brand. Now here's the thing, that there's like conspiracies and all that stuff that existed. I mean, all viruses came from somewhere.
Yeah. But
viruses evolve.
Yeah, I mean,
so
this one's got
technically, whether there's been other strands of coronavirus or other numbers of it, yeah, they've been. You could say that they're cousins, and now we have a new cousin that just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's going to evolve. It's going to mutate again. We're going to have Corona 20, maybe. It's going to mutate. The I think the chloroquine or whatever it is that they're saying, the malaria vaccine. They're not.
Right.
I even tried to ask if I can get that, and they said I didn't fit the bill. So, in order to be administered the chloroquine or malaria vaccine, you need to be on the critical level, and the high risk stage. My wife's uncle went into the hospital, and they immediately gave him that, and he started to feel better. But he's also 70. He's in the high risk, so he's they automatically said, okay, without question, here you go. In the midst of my pain and suffering, I was like, can I get that? And they're like, no, you don't fit it. And at this point, there's nothing I can do to lie and say I'm an 80-year-old man and I need this. But they weren't going to do it. They don't do it outpatient. You have to be in the hospital for it because it's going to mess up your liver bad. So they do if you want to monitor you. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that you didn't end up in the hospital, because my wife's cousin contracted this, and he got it really bad. He had to go on the respiratory machines and everything. And when he went to the hospital, I mean, you're completely the definition of quarantined.
Yeah.
Like, you are stuck there. You can't see your family. You can't see your kids. You can't see nobody.
Yeah.
Like, you're there until they say it's okay for you to leave.
Yeah, all you hear are the machines keeping you alive. and the occasional code red or whatever code they're using. That's scary.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. I mean, nurses and doctors right now, and that wasn't COVID. That's also another weird thing that, like, if we have to, like, we had to go out to get, I think, soap or something in the grocery store, and somebody sneezes or coughs, like, you just see everyone turn to you.
And it doesn't help that I'm Asian. If that happened, if I had to do that, I'd probably get beat.
I kind of get that, because depending on what angle you look at me, I kind of look a little bit Asian too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I'm wearing the mask. So while I'm wearing the mask, and I coughed a little bit, but it was just, a typical cough like you would any other day. And everyone turned, like everyone. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. No.
Like, people are very, very. It's two ends of the spectrum. There's people that just don't give a damn and are out there with no gloves, no mask, no nothing, just out and about or jogging around other people and stuff. And there's the other people that are just like completely like paranoid.
Yeah. Everybody becomes a germaphobe all of a sudden.
Right. Or everybody apparently likes to go for a run, even though some of them I'm pretty sure haven't gone for a run in like a year.
I did see a lot of people out there, and it's like people are like dusting off their bicycles that they've never ridden.
Like just go Netflix. We have the Tiger King. I honestly believe that Netflix was like, all right, we have to release this now, and got everybody to stay home and just watch a bunch of murderers and mayhem and like a bunch of tigers and how they exploit them. And I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't know what you've been doing. Like, go out and watch this. Just watch it. Just watch it right after this. Just go and watch it. You'll thank me later.
I'm trying to stay away from that tiger thing, honestly. What I have done is, when I had a chance to binge watch anything, I'm just rewatching the Marvel series. Just watching them in order. At times I just need to close my eyes and not watch, so I can hear it at least, and at least I know the story. So I don't think I could get any sleep with the Tiger King guy on the TV.
Nope, you definitely won't.
My house
you can't.
My house is already a zoo to begin with, so I'll stay away from that for now.
Yeah, but. Dude, I won't take up much more of your time. I know you're still recouping. I'm happy to hear that you are getting better and recovering off of this. And, thank you for coming on here and just, sharing your 2 cents on firsthand experience of having this and what you've gone through and still going through. I mean, you're still not 100% clearly, you're still healing.
Yeah. And, to answer your question earlier about when I found out on the 29th. So it was about 5 to 6 days after my test. And at that point, my fever had already started to go down. I got the call from the doctor and I was like, really? No shit. Sorry, pardon the French again. But it takes a while. I mean, there's hope. I have heard that, there are certain tests that are getting better. You can find out within a day or two. My wife's company in Becton Dickinson, they're developing one where you just prick your finger for blood and you can find out whether you even had it at some point, or if you have it currently, and you can find results within minutes or hours even, just from that. Wow. Yeah, so that they are mass producing it. They've just recently gotten it approved through the FDA, and they're going through all the hoops to get this out to the public. Because the lack of testing is what's hurting a lot of people right now. And not having the ability to test because of all the restrictions is also a pain point for sure.
For sure. I mean, and there's a lot of people that, let's say right now, I don't feel any symptoms. I don't feel anything. And if I get this test and I find out, oh crap, positive, I'm like, well, at least I know to keep away, or even keep away from my own family. Like, just like, hey, you got to keep your distance, put on the mask and put on everything, because now I'm a carrier and I can pass it on to you. Because there's a lot of people that don't get the fact that there are people that don't have any symptoms whatsoever.
Yeah,
And can carry it.
And that's why the test is key, because not knowing and that you're a carrier is what's going to do it in. That's what's going to make this bad for everyone.
Man. Well, my dude, if you guys aren't following Outlaw, please go follow him. And I believe you still take commissions, correct?
I do. I am backlogged because I had to take the last 3 to 4 weeks off from the workshop. So I have a limited amount of space left in commissions.
Well, you heard it from the man. He's still taking commissions. They will be a little bit delayed, but he is a master craftsman. I've seen his work personally. I mean, your garage, I envy your whole workstation. It's like walking into a sci-fi movie.
Well, it's gotten awesome. cleaner and more roomy since the last time you saw it, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. Because I have my friend who helps me out. He's my apprentice. I think he's moved on from apprentice. He can build now on his own. But he and I work in the garage nightly. Not recently, but I mean we used to work in the garage nightly. So I had to make room for it. There's the whole setup is different from the last time you saw it.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. You're expanding.
Yeah.
You're expanding. I knew you would.
And I've actually got 2 people on here who are also apprentices of mine, Buck Fuckles and Pixie Sykes. Yeah, they're both learning from me as well, and it's been fun doing all this stuff with them.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, keep a look at it. I'm probably gonna have to commission some armor soon, so we'll be putting it in the order.
Thank you.
All right, my dude, get some rest.
Thank you.
Get some sleep.
It's cool to get the information out there. Cuomo just came out with a video talking about stretching, keeping your arms above your head, and it's really your will to live, which is going to help you heal better. It was informative. A lot of the things he said there will help people who do have it, in terms of trying to keep your blood circulation moving through in your body. Apparently, laying down flat out on your back is not good for you when during this fever. They want you to they want you to get a little bit of mobility in there to circulate the blood in your body. So, but if you can tolerate the pain, of course.
Yeah, if you could tolerate the pain, just pop in I believe a Tylenol is the only safest one that you could possibly take, and just get moving. You don't have to go outside and go for like a 3-mile run and go to the supermarket and then come back. You can go outside of your house, do some burpees. You can move around. You can move around your house.
If you can breathe too, so that's another thing. Yeah, exercise is very limited with that. I mean, moving around the house, walking around, staying away from your family members at the same time, and doing breathing exercises will help get you on the road to recovery faster.
Good to know.
And if you have a fever, moisture wick clothing is key, so you don't wake up sopping wet in your clothes, because cotton will absorb that. So if you can, my one tip for anybody who has a fever is to wear your gym clothes, the moisture wick stuff. So this way it gets on your bed, but not on you in the entire night. You're not sitting there like a wet rag.
Well, get some compression gear, which, by the way, you can get in my shop.
There you go. Good segue.
You could get all the superhero merch right there. There you go. You can get a superhero Spider-Man compression shirt. We have them.
There you go. I'll have to look at that.
All right, peeps. I'm going to get off here before my battery completely dies because it's beeping right now.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. And thank you again for this, man.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate the fact that, you got a little bit of energy to come up and, just acknowledge all of this stuff. It's vital info. It's vital info that you guys listen and make sure you're taking the right precautions.
Yep. Agreed.
All right, peeps. Follow Outlaw, and I'll see you in the next.
Later.
Outlaw. Peace, brother. Be
Peace.
safe.
Hey superfans, unleash your inner superhero with these super compression shirts, tank tops, leggings, shorts, t-shirts, and even costumes. Link in the description below.
3, 2, 1, a boom!